Love is a powerful force. It has the ability to heal wounds, it can mend broken hearts. Love can even change the world. This is not just a sentimental notion. History has shown us time and time again that love is stronger than hate. Think about the story of Nelson Mandela. He was imprisoned for 27 years for fighting against apartheid in South Africa. Instead of succumbing to hate, he chose forgiveness. Mandela emerged from prison with a message of love and reconciliation. This resonated with millions. Mandela's story is a testament to the power of love. It shows us that even in the darkest of times, love can prevail. It reminds us that we all have the capacity for love. We can choose to lead with love, even when it's hard. When we choose love over hate, we choose hope over fear. We choose unity over division. We choose a better world for ourselves and for generations to come.
Love and hate are not just abstract concepts, they are deeply rooted in our biology. Scientists have identified specific areas of the brain associated with these emotions. Understanding how our brains process love and hate can give us valuable insights into our behavior. When we experience love, our brains release hormones like dopamine and oxytocin. These hormones create feelings of pleasure, bonding, and connection. Love, in a way, becomes a reward system. It reinforces positive social interactions and strengthens our relationships. Hate, on the other hand, activates the brain's fear and stress response. It triggers the release of hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, preparing our bodies for a perceived threat. While this response is essential for survival in dangerous situations, chronic hate can have detrimental effects on our physical and mental health.
The civil rights movement stands as a powerful testament to the transformative power of love in the face of hate. This movement, which challenged racial segregation and discrimination in the United States, was fueled by the unwavering belief in equality and justice. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks inspired millions with their message of love and non-violence. The movement faced fierce opposition. There was violence, there were arrests, and there were countless acts of hate directed at those who dared to dream of a more just society. Yet the movement persevered. The unwavering love for their fellow human beings, the belief in the inherent dignity of every individual, and the commitment to non-violent resistance ultimately proved to be more powerful than the hate they faced. The civil rights movement serves as a beacon of hope, reminding us that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable obstacles, love can triumph. It teaches us that each of us has the power to make a difference, to stand up for what is right, and to create a more just and equitable world for all.
Know you've been a good friend.
I've seen the ugliest sides of humanity, but I've also witnessed incredible acts of courage and compassion. What keeps me going is the belief that love is the ultimate answer.
To truly overcome hate, we must try to understand the pain and suffering that fuels it. Only then can we begin to heal and build bridges of compassion.
Love makes you feel good. Hate just makes everyone sad.
Section 5. The transformative power of art. Art, in its various forms, has a unique ability to transcend boundaries and touch the human soul. It can serve as a powerful tool for promoting love, empathy, and understanding. Literature, for example, has the power to transport us to different worlds. It allows us to step into the shoes of others. Through stories, we can develop empathy and challenge our own biases. Music has an incredible ability to evoke emotions. Certain songs can uplift our spirits. They can provide solace in times of sorrow. Music can unite people from all walks of life, creating a sense of shared humanity. Visual arts, such as painting, sculpture, and photography, can be powerful vehicles for expressing emotions. Art can spark dialogue, challenge perspectives, and inspire viewers to see the world through a different lens.
Section 6. The tightrope between free speech and hate speech. In our pursuit of a more loving and compassionate world, it is crucial to address the complex issue of free speech and its boundaries. While the freedom of expression is a fundamental right, it is not absolute. There is a fine line between expressing one's views and spreading hate speech that incites violence, discrimination, or hostility towards individuals or groups based on their race, religion, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or other protected characteristics. Balancing free speech with the need to protect individuals and communities from hate speech is a delicate act. It requires careful consideration and a nuanced approach. While censoring all forms of hate speech may seem appealing, it is essential to uphold the principles of free expression, even when confronted with ideas we find abhorrent. Instead of resorting to censorship, we must focus on countering hate speech with more speech that promotes love, understanding, and empathy. We must engage in constructive dialogue, challenge harmful stereotypes, and promote education that fosters critical thinking and media literacy. Section 7. Meeting hate with love, practical strategies. When confronted with hate, it can be challenging to respond with love. Our instincts may tell us to fight fire with fire, but this often escalates the situation. Here are some practical strategies for responding to hate with love. Practice empathy. Try to understand the root causes of someone's hate. This doesn't mean condoning their behavior, but it can help you respond with compassion rather than anger. Engage in dialogue. If possible, engage in a respectful conversation with the person expressing hate. Listen to their perspective and try to find common ground. Set boundaries. It's important to set boundaries with people who are hateful or abusive. You have the right to protect your own well-being. Focus on your own actions. You can't control how others behave, but you can control your own actions. Choose to be kind, compassionate, and understanding in your daily interactions. Section 8. Triumph of the Human Spirit, Stories of Forgiveness. The human spirit has an incredible capacity for forgiveness. Stories of forgiveness remind us that even in the face of unimaginable pain and suffering, it is possible to choose love over hate. One such story is that of Amy Beale, a young American activist who was murdered in South Africa in 1994. Her parents, instead of succumbing to anger and bitterness, chose to forgive their daughter's killers. They established the Amy Beale Foundation, which works to empower youth in South Africa and promote racial reconciliation. Another inspiring example is the story of Ava Kaur, a Holocaust survivor who dedicated her life to promoting forgiveness and understanding. She famously hugged Oskar Groening, a former Nazi guard who worked at Auschwitz, symbolizing her belief in the power of forgiveness to heal the wounds of the past. These stories, while extraordinary, highlight a universal truth. Forgiveness is not about condoning the actions of others, but about freeing ourselves from the grip of hate and resentment. It is a gift we give ourselves, a path towards healing and inner peace. Section 9. Small acts, big impact, choosing love in everyday life. Choosing love over hate doesn't require grand gestures. It often manifests in the smallest of actions, in the way we interact with our families, friends, neighbors, and even strangers. Smile at someone you pass on the street. Offer a helping hand to someone in need. Listen with an open heart when someone is sharing their struggles. These small acts of kindness may seem insignificant, but they have the power to ripple outwards, creating a more compassionate and loving world. Remember that choosing love doesn't mean we will never experience anger, frustration, or disappointment. It means that we strive to respond to these emotions in a way that promotes understanding, healing, and connection. It means that we choose to see the best in others, even when it's hard. Section 10. An invitation to love. The world today is filled with division, anger, and fear. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the darkness, but we must remember that we all have the power to choose a different path. We can choose love. Love is not a sign of weakness. It is the most courageous act we can undertake. It requires us to be vulnerable, to extend grace, and to believe in the inherent goodness of humanity, even when faced with evidence to the contrary. Let us be the change we wish to see in the world. Let us choose love in our thoughts, words, and actions. Let us build bridges of understanding, cultivate empathy, and create a world where hate is met with compassion and love prevails.